Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
We're here to talk about several waivers that are being requested. And with that, Madam Secretary, please take the roll.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to verify, this hearing is for public comments on 3 waiver renewal requests: supplemental general state aid, food services RFP, and the restructured school day, school improvement day. The board is scheduled to vote on these waivers at the regular meeting later today. And the notice procedure, Mr. President, notice of the public hearing was posted on the cps.edu and cpsboe.org websites on November 3rd, 2015. Notifications regarding this hearing were also sent to union representatives and state legislators representing Chicago on November 9, 2015, and the public notice was published in the Chicago Sun-Times on November 10, 2015. And Mr. President, I would also like to note for the records the members that are present here today, and they are Member Mark Furlong, Member Gail Ward, Father Garanzini, President Clark, and I would also like to recognize the General Counsel, Ronald Marmer. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Proceed with the waiver renewal request presentation.
Good morning. My name is Cheryl Colston. I'm the first Deputy General Counsel in the Board's Law Department. There are 3 areas of waivers that we are seeking renewal for from the State Board of Education or from an Illinois law. Before getting into the details of each of the waivers, I think it's important to note 2 things. First, as I mentioned, these are renewals, so they have previously been approved by the Board, ISB, and the General Assembly. Second, and I think probably more importantly, is that the legislature actually contemplates that school districts will need to, from time to time, seek a waiver or modification from the school code or the administrative rules and regulations. And so as such, the statute itself sets forth the framework by which school districts can do that, and that's what brings us here today. As we will discuss, when the school district demonstrates that it can address the intent of the rule or mandate in a more effective, efficient, or economical manner, waiver of the mandate is appropriate. As reflected in the slides, there are 3 waiver renewals: the supplemental general state waiver, food services RFP waiver, restructured day, school improvement day waiver. Turning to the supplemental general state aid waiver, this is a waiver of an ISB regulation that requires the district to distribute supplemental general state aid based upon the school's prior year enrollment of students with low income, rather than based on the current enrollment of low-income students at the 20th day mark. We have demonstrated that it is more effective, efficient, and economical to use the most current and accurate counts of students at the 20th day mark. That ensures that the SGSA funds are following the student. Additionally, new and expanding schools won't be penalized because the enrollment at the 20th day mark is what will be counted in order to determine the funding. This is the 3rd year for this 2-year waiver. Any questions? Turning now to the food service procurement waiver. This is a waiver of a statutory section of the school code that requires food services to be procured by a bid only. We have demonstrated that it is more effective, efficient, and economical to use the request for proposal process to procure food services because over the last 3 years, we have been able to save $35 million in the food services program. We have also taken advantage of industry trends, innovations, including new products and program delivery methods. You should also know that the USDA federal regulations allow school districts to procure food services by way of an RFP. And both the bid process and the RFP process is an open process and a competitive process. This is the second renewal cycle for this 5-year waiver. Any questions?
Questions? No. Go ahead.
Finally, turning now to the School Improvement Day waiver. This is a waiver of a statutory section of the school code as well. And this is the section that sets forth the funding formula for general state aid and supplemental general state aid. To qualify to receive general state aid, every school district is required to have a school calendar with a minimum of 185 days, 5 days of which can be used for emergencies. With the district's full school year calendar, the district actually has 192 days, 5 days of which can be used for emergencies. To qualify as a day of student attendance, students must receive at least 5 clock hours of instruction, or in other words, 300 instructional minutes. School districts may qualify for funding for non-student attendance days, such as Teacher Institutes, Parent-Teacher, and the School Improvement Day. The school code permits districts to bank additional instructional minutes, accumulate additional instructional minutes throughout the course of the school year that then enable school districts to schedule 1/2 student attendance and 1/2 school improvement days for administration and staff to collaborate, talk about the budget, talk about staff development, curriculum, etc. Prior to 2007, the district banked an additional 8 minutes per day of student attendance. That allowed the district to schedule 10 half-school days for student attendance and school improvement. Beginning in 2007, the district sought a waiver of this statutory section to allow it to bank instructional minutes in a manner that would allow it to schedule 4 full school improvement days with no student attendance, and nonetheless, those days would qualify for funding. We have demonstrated that it is more effective, efficient, and economical to have 4 full school improvement days because 4 full days maintain the continuity of the instructional schedule as opposed to half-day sessions that can be disruptive to student learning. Full-day in-service sessions also lead to a better and more varied professional development. Parents are benefited as well because they don't have to, if they're working families, worry about a half-day session and getting their child to and from school. You should know that currently we bank 60 additional instructional minutes per day in elementary schools and 50 additional instructional minutes in high schools. This is the 3rd renewal for this 5-year waiver. Questions?
Questions from anyone from the board? Does that conclude your comments, Cheryl?
Yes.
Cheryl, thank you for a very thorough and concise presentation on these waiver requests. Thank you very much. Now let's proceed with today's public comment segment. Madam Secretary, please share the rules for public comments.
Thank you, Mr. President. For the record, I would like to note that registration for the public hearing was held between the hours of 8 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. this morning. Individuals registered to speak will have 2 minutes to comment, and I will call speakers in the order of registration. And I would like to note, Mr. President, that we did not have any speakers registered for the public hearing this morning. However, I just want to read the statement into the record. Written comments regarding the waiver renewal applications may be submitted to the board office by 5 p.m. today. And, Mr. President, that is all I need to read into the record for now.
Thank you very much, Madam Secretary. Again, before I close the session, are there any other questions or comments from board members? Okay. Then this concludes our waiver renewal request hearing. The regular board meeting will convene at 10:30. Thank you.